What was the biggest political scandal in your country? A previous Taoiseach of ours, Prime Minister Charlie Howie in the 1970s/80s, illegally bought an island off the coast of Kerry and built a mansion there, lording over it like a Bond supervillain. Didn't Howie also try to smuggle arms for the IRA too? OMG, where did it happen? My country has been without a government for more than a year. Twice. The first time my country has been without a government was for 541 days. A Guinness World Record. At the moment we are without a government for the second time. Our elections were on the 26th of May 2019. So at the moment we are at 479 days without a government. Here's to hoping we achieve a world record for a second time. I live in Belgium BTW. And how has it affected people's lives? My country Northern Ireland went for a 1,000 days without government. Poland. Technically there is no year without scandal. One of the former prime ministers was accused for being Russian spy in 90s. Leaked recordings which ended governments. Minister of Health bought respirators for COVID patients. From arms dealer. Entire scandal with elections. Now the parliament votes for bill which allows politicians avoid punishment for anything if they prove they acted against COVID. What about the time when Tusk was PM and they were building the motorways, so the government had loads of contracts with logistical companies, but then the Minister for Transport and his mates pocketed the money instead. The companies that built the roads went bankrupt and loads of businessmen killed themselves. And then the Transport Minister ran off to join the Ukrainian mafia. And PO were such a corrupt party that they had to change their name. OSH and Amber Gold. And I mean not really our scandal, but the time a plan full of our top government and military officials mysteriously crashed in Russia. Lol, we have good times. Elections were one big scandal. Sassin threw away loads of money organizing illegal elections and suffered no consequences. Duda antagonized his own citizens to surf on the wave of hate for the win, and suddenly the COVID-19 epidemic ceased to exist for the duration of presidential campaign. Let's just forget about how national television was just a pro-Duda and pro-PiS, and to this day remains just like that. Our politics are a mess. Also, South Africa. Our health minister left coronavirus patients to die in tents, and when he got questioned he demanded an apology from the broadcaster. Add to this the rife corruption and how our 500 billion has been stolen. No one is accountable, no one ends up in jail, they get put on suspension for years on full pay while people starve. Let's not get started on the rapes and murders every day. The list goes on and on and on. We have lots of scandals around KFC. My favorite was when Chris Magwankana spent our $6,000-ish of taxpayers' money on KFC. Or Mayor Simon Mofokeng spending our 1.7 million on KFC, Nando's, and hotels. Safety Mech, Caesar Kelly and Kosi Malobane bought our 60,000 worth of KFC for prisoners to show them what they are missing. Or Sylvia Lucas, who spent over our 50,000 in 10 days on KFC with her government credit card. Her response to criticism: how would we have eaten if we didn't use taxpayers' money? Keep in mind that all of these people are doing this while their own voters dig through garbage for rotting food to eat. Our president tried to create a law that would require all churches without paperwork to get owned by the government. Of course, many of the churches in Montenegro were created way before paperwork was needed, when Serbia and Montenegro were the same country. So basically the government would be getting tons of land that isn't even Montenegrin, so massive protests followed. Keep in mind this was all during the COVID lockdown, so massive protests just led to more people getting infected. Also, this caused tons of cultural hate between Montenegrins and Serbs, when in retrospect we're all the same Slavic people. I'd how to explain it very well, since I myself do not understand the situation the best. Exactly what the Balkans needs: more cultural/ethnic tensions. /s. In Greece this list is never ending, and I can't even choose any as the biggest one. Politics and corruption is the same thing here. I just read Greece and you already have my sympathy. It's a beautiful country, and I'm sure the people are very nice. Never met a Grecian IRL. But man, your government seems to fuck you in the ass on a daily. Isn't that the entire history of Greece? You were called the dawn of Western civilization. Greece invented democracy, republics, philosophy, medicine, ethics and self-sufficient economies, but ironically it was the destruction of ancient Greece and continued to plague Greece and Europe to this day. Pericles of Athens, aka the father of democracy, knew corruption was a fault line and warned about how easily democracy can be exploited, and his words echo true to this day. Slovakia. A journalist got killed 2 years ago in February. Mafia was involved and it's still not resolved. In my country, Ukraine, every month there are attacks on journalists/activists which will never be investigated. Serious murders usually take place once in 1 to 2 years. Resolving a mafia killing just sounds like you need to resolve another mafia killing. Oh, nothing too big. Just a simple investigation of a car wash being used to launder money that snowballed into the uncovering of a major political plot that stole/laundered something between $2 and $13 billion. The investigation was adequately named as Operation Car Wash. Did they take inspiration from Breaking Bad on how to launder money? Almost like Pappy Pablo's taxi business. Who knew 3 taxis could make you a billionaire? A 30-plus-year-old politician slept with a 15-year-old girl. It was technically legal, so he suffered no consequences other than people now thinking he's a disgusting piece of crap. In what country did this happen? Yepa Kofod, aka Nep Kofod, fucking Kofod, is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It happened at a political youth seminar where he had given a lecture. It was hosted by his political party, you know, the same party who have now made him a minister. After the subprime crisis in the noughties, Portuguese Prime Minister Socrates was charged with white-collar crimes for hustling public funds to finance void contracts in public construction and for changing laws to benefit certain friends and party members. He got jailed and is currently in house arrest. High-profile people of our political environment still visit him on a regular basis. Ever since then, no majority was achieved during votings and the country has since been ruled by party coalitions. The Prime Minister's name was Socrates. Damn, it's like the whole country's running on a theatrical play. Couple years ago in Chile, journalist found that 1,113 kids living under the tutelage of the state were already dead. Their deaths were not reported, nor investigated. When the news got out, the Minister of Justice, Javiera Blanco, who was in charge of the SNAME, National Service for Minors, was then destituted only to be given a lifetime job in the State Defense Council. This was never talked about again. Never talked about again? JFC, that's so many kids. That's horrible. And, you know, Pinochet. Not really a scandal. But one day in the 1960s, our Prime Minister decided to go for a swim. The catch? He went missing and was never found. Fun fact, there is a Harold Holt Memorial Swimming Centre in suburban Melbourne. It was already under construction at the time of Holt's disappearance. Some say he will return from the sea in a time of great need, ascending from the depths to wash away our enemies. In Puerto Rico, our governor had a chat with other government officials and some of his close friends where they discussed corruption plans. They admitted to manipulating the press, they made fun of the victims of Hurricane Maria, they made sexist and homophobic comments. And it all got leaked to the public. Everyone was pissed and we formed the biggest protest in our island's history, which forced him to resign. That was a fun summer. That's so uplifting to hear about, thanks for sharing. Last summer I became friends with a guy from PR I was interning with. He told me all about the group chat shit like the day it came out. He showed me protest pictures and told me how much this son of a bitch needed to go. What's amazing is the fact that I hadn't heard about it on any news outlet until much later. Didn't the governor flee first and then resign? At the time I hadn't heard about when he resigned, only that he was barricading himself in the building and then fled, but I know he's long gone by now. A politician accidentally bought a chocolate bar with the government's credit card. How is this a scandal? Did the chocolate bar cost $3 billion? I like this is our biggest scandal. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.